Okay, so we'll straight go to the content of it. Right, okay, so basically we'll look at what is web analytics. Okay, web analytics is a way of collecting and analyzing what's happening on your website, covering everything from what your visitors are doing, where they come from, what content they like, and a whole lot more. So by using web analytics to collect data, you'll be able to know what is and what isn't working and steer your website in the right direction. For instance, you have, for example, McDonald's, right? You see the picture over there. It's a McDonald's website. So every time you see there's a new content on its website, so you probably they will change it, every week or every month, depending. But how do you think they know why? I mean, how do you think they know basically what to put on their website? Of course, one is whenever there is new products or new campaigns, they will put it up on their website. But besides that, they will also remove the contents or information that is not popular on their website. Okay, so how they know that it's not popular is through web analytics, which we will be touching shortly later. And basically all these websites of all these huge big companies like McDonald's or these are food companies, as well as some of the PLCs like public listed companies, they will have their website and the contents usually changes frequently, okay, because of the information or the data that they gather through web analytics. All right, okay, so why we need web analytics? Okay, one is basically it provides the ability to capture, track over time, report on the behavior of your visitors. All right, it also helps on tracking website key engagement metrics such as number of page views, average time spent, return visitors versus new visitors, bounce rate. So these terms may be very new to you, but we will actually look into that later. And then it also provides overview of different sources of traffic. Okay, for example, it may be direct traffic, referral traffic, or search engine traffic, something like SEO. All right, and then details on the geographical distribution. So for instance, you have like gender, age, and regions. So these are some things that we can know. Obviously, probably about like a few years ago, geographical distribution was very limited. We will only know their regions, but gender and age was very limited. But now I think actually that through the advancement of technology and within their app itself, they have actually enabled to capture gender and age. So this is something which is very important for retailers, like for example, like e-commerce businesses. So these are very important information or data for them to capture to actually enhance their websites and enhance their promotional campaigns through their website. All right. Okay, so basically these are some of the web analytics tools and applications. I'm sure you have heard some of them, but the most commonly used will be Google Analytics. All right. So today we will actually be going through Google Analytics, some of the sample. I have one sample that I can basically be demoing to you. And the others are also out there. There are many other more. Basically, there are some open source apps that you can use for free, and there are some which has fee to it. So usually the ones that have fee to it, it's you mainly will be promoted. I mean, promoted to like companies. All right, so because sometimes they have more information that they need to capture, so therefore they will usually be promoted to like corporations, companies, for them to actually utilize the app. But the ones for free, anyone can use. All right, so Google Analytics is one of it, which is for free, and anybody can sign up for it, and then you can actually use the app. Okay, so how it works, so there is generic architecture to it. So for instance, when a visitor browses a website, for example, you browsing a website, the page contains a code snippet to download a JavaScript. Okay, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is basically a scripting or a programming language that allows you to implement complex features on websites. So for example, every time when a website displays like contents like interactive maps, videos, moving banners, sometimes they have the 3D graphics, scrolling videos, maybe the scrolling news. So those are basically all interactive apps that they have within, or rather we call it as widget within the website. So these are all done through JavaScript. Okay, so there's three technologies within a website, which is HTML, CSS, and the other one is JavaScript. Okay, and what happens next is that this JavaScript will track user activity and sends data to the analytics server. Okay, for instance, if we are using Google Analytics, the information that the information which is captured in the website will be transferred to Google Analytics server. All right, then the analytics server stores the data for processing. The processing data stored in a database. So basically, we'll have a database within the system itself, and they will actually store all those information that they capture from a website into their database. And of course, finally, analytics reports get served from the database. So we will actually be looking at the last process, okay, which is the analytics report, in which we will have the Google Analytics platform or the app, in which we will actually view all the final output. Okay, so the processing bit and all that, obviously we don't have the access to that, but we will be looking at the final output, which is the analytics report. Okay, and then so we'll basically get right into Google Analytics. Since it is free website analytical tool, anybody could actually register for it and then use it, as long as you have like a website, like a blog, you have like a microsite in which you can install. I will show you how to do that in a short bit. And basically anyone could be able to use this app on their website. Okay, so we have this Google, of course, Google Analytics will help you to analyze your website traffic. Okay, and besides that, it also looks into acquisition, how you acquire a visitor, okay, behavior, visitor interaction. So how does one interacts within your website, which components in your website that people go to mostly. All right, we'll look into that, and then we'll also look into conversion. Okay, profitable actions, whether, for example, like especially e-commerce sites. Okay, when you view something, a product that you like, maybe a clothes or like a product or a gadget that you like, whether or not you're purchasing it. Okay, sometimes some people will just view but they will not purchase. So we will look into conversion. That is what it's called as conversion. So from viewing it to the final process, which is purchasing it. So that is also captured within Google Analytics. All right, okay. So how does Google Analytics works? Again, we will basically, of course, you need to create a Google Analytics account. Then you will need to add a small piece of JavaScript tracking code to each page on your site. Okay, there's two ways of doing this. One is you can actually install, for example, if you're using WordPress. I'm sure you guys are familiar with WordPress. So if you are using WordPress, there is an app that you can download within WordPress, whereby you can just actually copy the script from Google Analytics into your website, and that's about it. Or if you're a more technical person, if you know how to use HTML and whatnot, you can actually just copy and paste into the HTML version of your website. Okay, because website as what you see on your desktop, or what you see on your browser is just the front layer of it, the beautified information that you see, images and whatnot. But behind it, it has a lots of applications behind it. Okay, for instance, how do you put content to it? So you use HTML. Most of the website, they use HTML. Lately they have some apps where it's like it's an app where you can actually you can just copy and paste information, and it will appear on the website as per what you have copied and paste. So you don't need to know HTML on how to use HTML or whatnot. So things have been much easier nowadays, whereby people use those applications. They don't need to know the technical bit of it, like HTML. You don't need to know additional languages. You just have to use the app, and then you'll be able to do it. So there's two ways, like I said, to put in your JavaScript code tracking code into your website. All right. So every time a user visits a website, the tracking code will collect anonymous information about how that user interact with the page. Okay. So it is very important to also understand it is an anonymous information, meaning you will not be able to know that individual's name, where they live, like for example, specific address or their phone number, nothing. Okay. Google does not capture those kind of information. The most personal information that they can capture is your gender and your region, where you belong, which region you belong to. All right, and your sometimes age is also possible, like earlier I said. So gender, age, and also your region. These are the most personal information that Google Analytics can capture. They will not be able to capture your name, your age, your name, exact address, home address, your phone number, none of it, unless you are giving it out on the inquiry column. Some websites, they have the inquiry page whereby you put in your personal details and all that. But basically, that information you are giving it to the website owner. Okay, so it's not, you are not giving it to Google. So that is the only information that you have. So it basically, you will be known as anonymous, but we will capture other information like your behavior, user behavior. So those are the information that we will be Google Analytics will be capturing. All right. So okay, every time when a user visits a page that is installed within the tracking code, a data stream containing the user information, browser location, many other information will be sent to your analytics account. This is basically your Google Analytics account. All right. At the same time, analytics will assign a randomly generated user ID to the visitor and store in the user's browser as cookie. So you'll be wondering, what is cookie, right? Okay, cookies are usually a small text file. Okay, it's a given ID tags that are stored on your computer's browser directly or data subfolder. Okay, cookies are created when you use your browser to visit a website that uses cookies to keep track of your movements within the site. Okay, it basically help you resume where you left off. So I'm sure most of you have actually visited some website, especially for example e-commerce websites and all that, right? Then you started noticing that you have ads appearing, of the product that you have viewed previously. Okay, how they capture those information is through cookies. That's why the ads are keep appearing to you, because you have visited the website. Unless you delete, because I'm not sure how far you know that actually you can delete your history, right? So for example, if you have viewed quite a number of websites within the day and all that, actually you can delete your history, and you can also basically those history will not be stored there anymore. Okay, but cookies function is that they will actually capture your movement of what the site that you have visited. So most of the websites out there actually have this function. They will want to know, because actually that's where that's the data that most companies want from the users. They want to know where, they want to know how's your movement, which page you go to, which product that you are more interested in, so that will be basically, it will be eventually helped with their digital marketing. So digital marketing is a whole another component whereby all this information will be fed through digital marketing, and basically they will be, so their marketing activities can be more targeted. Okay, so this is where this data will be helpful for many other what do you call it, a department within a company. All right, so and okay, so the next thing is that so basically the next time the same user visits the same website, analytics will identify the user as returning user based on the cookie. All right, so if the end user cleared the browser cookies, analytics will not be able to associate the user with their past browsing data, like I said earlier. So if you clear your history, the next time you go into the same website, it will be captured as new user. Okay, so so basically it's up to you. Some people have this habit of deleting their history. Some people have the habit of wanting to actually not knowing that they even can delete their history. Therefore, whichever websites they visit, you notice that the information on the ads start following you. So basically that's called as remarketing. Okay, So this analytics will assign a new ID and a store as a cookie in the browser and the next time the user visits. So this is all basically on how you operate your browser. So if you were to delete, the next time you go into these websites, you will be identified as new user. Otherwise, it is a returning user. Okay. You can install analytics tracking code to any web pages, mobile apps, point of sales, and any systems or software that is connected with internet. Okay, this is very important. So as long as that app is connected to the internet, you can actually install the tracking code. So it doesn't matter if it is a full-fledged website or if it is a microsite. Okay, so the difference between the full-fledged website is that, you know, most of the companies you see out there, they have full-fledged website where they have multiple pages. You know, when you see the menu pages, they have multiple pages. They have comprehensive information on their website. A microsite is usually mostly used, for example, is a one-pager site. Okay, one-pager site where important information is where only important information you can see on the page. Okay, mostly it will be used by conferences, and then, you know, some sites they would prefer, like, you know, for example, a company has like a campaign that they are running. Okay, for example, AirAsia is running a campaign on you know, Visit Malaysia 2020, for example. So they will actually have another microsite where they will build, and it's a one-page website where you can view all those information with regards to the campaign on that one page. Okay, that's the difference between microsite and a web. All right. And okay, analytics will not track or store any personal identifiable information such as name, email, and also address and others. Like I said earlier, these are the personal information that Google Analytics will not track or they will not capture. Okay, so that's why we call this as anonymous users. So we only capture the behavior of that users, not personal informations. All right. Okay, so basically how to sign up for Google Analytics. So those of you who want to try out, okay, for example, if you have a blog that you want to try out on installing Google Analytics, okay, or installing the ID into your platform, so you can go use this tab to set up your account. Okay, so actually, like I said earlier, you can use it for your blogs as well. I'm not sure what is your assignments and all that, but if you have, you know, your assignment to actually build a blog, actually you can already start using Google Analytics to view the capture the data of your blog. Okay, so basically, because you can go to accounts.google.com, okay, log in with your Google account. You need to have a Google account for you to log in, and once you're already on the page, you have to sign up for Google Analytics. All right, so you can just Google Analytics and you have to sign up. All right, and then, like I said earlier, you have to install the tracking code right after the opening of head in your HTML website. So this is for those who know how to use HTML. So you'll have the whole script of your website at the back end of the page of your website, for example, or your blog. Okay, so you can actually copy and paste the tracking code into the head of your HTML website. All right, so if you're using WordPress, Joomla, Wix, these are example of the platforms, or Blogspot or other CMS, you can simply key in your UA code plugin or setting. So like I said earlier, the HTML one is basically those who know programming language, but those who use these kind of common apps, like for example WordPress, Joomla and all that, you have a plugin or an app that you can actually install within your app itself, whereby you can just actually copy and paste the UA code on from the Google Analytics app into your website or Blogspot. All right, so you can actually, this step is very simple. You Google yourself as well to find out how to install this ID into your website. All right, okay, so basically we'll look at Google Analytics structure. So we have this thing called as organization, account, property, views, filters and goals. Okay, organization is group of companies, for example. Okay, this is an overview of the whole structure. account is your business account. For example, McDonald's is an account. So within an account, for example, a group of company, they have multiple businesses. Okay, it will then be stored under account. So you can open multiple analytics code within your organization. All right. So for example, you have like manufacturing company within your group of companies. You have manufacturing business, you have investment, you have education, you have e-commerce. So you can actually, and all these businesses have its own dedicated website. So what you can do is you can open an organization. Organization will be your group of companies. Your account will be your individual websites that you are actually wanting to track. So as a user, you will be like super user, for example, like the CEO of a group of company will be able to actually view all the businesses within the group of companies and the information that is stored in the app itself. All right. So basically this one is for those who has big companies and they have multiple businesses lah. But there is a feature that you can actually use. So this kind of information is important for you to know as well, that you can open multiple accounts. All right. And property is the website or apps that you want to track. So this is where then you will start tracking the individual website or apps. All right. So for example, you have the mobile app that you want to track, you have the POS system that you want to track. So all these will be recorded under property. And views, so if you want to store only Malaysia visited traffic, so you can store it under view 1. Okay, then you want to store the rest of the world, you can store it under view 2. So these are for example multinational companies, so they will have some multinational companies, they have websites for each region. Malaysia may have the Malaysia website just to dedicate for the users of Malaysia, for the Malaysian crowd. For example, that particular website have Bahasa as an option, another language option for them to view the website. And then they may have another website maybe in Indonesia, or they have another website in Thailand. So they have various sites, so they can actually track various sites from various region that they have installed as well. Okay, and then do you have filters and goals? Okay, so filters and goals is where can be set in the views. So filters are the criteria to include or exclude data. So this one we will look at it later during the demo, whereby you can actually include what you want to see or what you want to capture within the app itself. And then so analytics term. Okay, it's also important for you to know the terms that's been used within Google Analytics. Okay, the reason why is because these are all the terms that you will be seeing in the demo session later, and you need to know what does it mean. But I've only highlighted some important ones. There are many more which you can actually look through yourself lah. Okay, so we have like for example session. Every time a user visits a page, a new session will be started. All right, the session terminated when the user is idle for 30 minutes. So this is set by Google Analytics. All right, if the user come back after 30 minutes, it is considered as new session. All right, so that the time frame is only 30 minutes. Anything after 30 minutes, it's considered a new session. So a session can be very long and a very short depending on how long the user wants to browse the website actively. All right, that is what we call a session. Bounce, okay, they say as bounce rate. What does it mean is that if any user land the website and leave the website without any interaction, such as click on a video or navigate to other page, it is considered as bounce. So usually in the industry, high bounce rate indicate unhealthy website. Okay, I'm sure some of you have done that also, right? When you visit a website, you can't find the information that you see there, and then you quickly exit the website. So when you do that, it's considered as bounce rate. So you don't interact within the website. So that is a very how to say, for the website owner, they can actually capture that information as well. So they will actually know why these users are coming in but leaving as soon as possible. Is it because they can't find information as easy enough on your website, or maybe maybe the content is not that great for them to actually get entice them to the content or click on the content. So there are various reasons why one may not stay on a website for long. Okay, so that is a concern for website owners. Therefore they will that's a way for them to actually make sure they want to entice users to stay longer. So that's why now they have come up with like 3D animations. They have come up with moving videos on a website. So basically when you go to website, you'll find interesting. So when you find it interesting, you want to click on it more. So besides the content, I think look and feel also plays a very important role in a website. So I'm sure most of you have actually visited some website which is very boring, but I can tell you that most of our government website are quite old school. Okay, but again, I think some are actually changing it and making it more up to date right now. Because users' appetite is also changing over the years. So therefore, the website owners or the companies has also actually evolved with time. All right. So bounce rate is that, and then page view or a page view hit. Okay, page tracking hit is an instant of a page being loaded or reloaded in a browser. So page view is a metric defined as the total number of page views. All right. So as long as you are already on the page, okay, you are already, of course, you're already on the page and you're viewing it, so that's considered as page view already. So why this is important is because within a website you have a multiple menu page, right? So you have, like, for example, in a website you have about us, you will have products or services. Okay, so when they click on products and services, so that page is it's a page on its own, therefore it will be considered as page view. All right. Okay, then we'll look at hit. Okay, hit is an interaction that results in data being sent to analytics. Common hit types include page tracking hits, event tracking hits, and e-commerce hits. Every time the tracking code is triggered by a user's behavior, for example, user loads a page on a website or a screen in a mobile app, analytics records the activity. Each interaction is packaged into a hit and sent to Google servers. So the hit is usually, like it's mentioned, mainly for those who have e-commerce businesses, and then those websites that sell products within their page itself. They have this thing called as hit. So they will be able to know, how many of them have came to that particular product page, and how many of them have viewed it, how many of them clicked it for more information, how many of them actually purchased the product. So those are the information will be captured under hit. All right. Dimensions are attributes of your data. For example, the dimension city indicates the city, for example, Subang Jaya or Kuala Lumpur, from which a session originates. The dimension page indicates the URL of a page that is viewed. So basically, this one will be more of indicative of the location that you come from. Okay, this is where earlier we about demographics, right? So these are the regions that will be captured under dimensions. All right, and then metrics, on the other hand, will be quantitative measurements, whereby metric session is the total number of session. The metric pages session is the average number of pages viewed per session. Okay, so basically this metrics is more in depth. There is a calculation to it. Okay, so usually metrics are usually most used for more in-depth information, to capture more in-depth information. But for now, maybe we may not look into metrics, but the others are quite important, and these are the basics of analytics term. Okay, and then we have okay, reports. Okay, of course, the ultimate goal why you are doing all this Google Analytics and all that is because you want to generate a report. So this report usually will be used by management to make decision, or basically the whoever is in the marketing team, maybe whoever who's in the management team and all that. So they will be able to make decision on whether or not their particular website is really capturing audiences. For example, so mainly for users of like e-commerce businesses. Okay, they once they know that their site is getting more users to come in and they're buying more products and all that. So these reports will give them a lot of insights of where their users coming from, what product they are interested in, not just for e-commerce but also for other businesses. Like for example, like McDonald's earliest example I can use, whereby they can actually look into, for example, they have at one time they might have 3-4 campaigns. Lately they have these boba drink campaigns and all that, right? So they will want to see whether or not when they announce these campaigns, or they have these marketing campaigns on their website and all that, whether or not it's tracking viewers or not, getting people to come in, click on the ad, and then view what information about the product, information about the campaign and all that. So they will know. So this particular campaign is doing well as compared to the other campaign. So they can make comparisons and actually make informed decision on what is the next step based on the reports. Okay, and then we will look at, okay, so the report categories, this one we will actually be able to look at the demo. During the demo you will be able to see it for yourself, whereby you have a real-time information, okay, basically details of website visited in real time as it happens. So now, for example, later when I show you the demo, we will be able to see whether there's any real-time viewers or not. Okay, audience, all report related to your website visitors, location, demographic, technology use. So in fact, you can also see which platform they're using, iOS or Android, which device they're using, maybe iPad, they're using phone, they're using desktop. Those information are also captured. Acquisition reports about how you acquire the users. It reports channels such as paid advertising, social or organic. Okay, so basically this one they will look at, okay, paid advertising is whereby they actually have a campaign for that particular product. Okay, they will be able to actually look into how many of them have actually interested in the product and all that. So that we will go in depth later when we look at the demo. And then you also have behavior, the user experience report, conversion, valuable, profitable action report. This one, like I earlier said, those who click to buy, or click to register, these are considered conversions. All right, okay. So now we'll look at the demo. Just hold on now. If you have any questions, you can actually stop me and ask while I show you the demo. Okay, so can everyone see? All right, okay, so you see, now I'm showing you, this is the backend of a Google Analytics live page. Okay, before I tell you what page is, I just want you to see, now we have 2 users, right, active users. Okay, what you do, all of y'all, just go to your Google and then type in this address, investmartsc.my, and just let me know once you're already on the page. Okay, so is everyone on the side already? Okay, so can you see? So this is a live report. Okay, so I believe only some of you, earlier we saw there was only 2, right? So I'm refreshing right now, just so that we can get the most latest number of live viewers. Okay, so from 2 now we have 13. So this is basically real-time information. So this is the real-time data that we have of number of active users on the site. Okay, so it's very interesting, and you can see the location of where it's coming from. So obviously it's mostly all of y'all are in Subang, KL, Selangor area. So basically we will have this information on top location as well. All right, some of y'all have clicked on starter key, you see. So these are all live information that I can see. All right, so it's very interesting for us to actually know at this point in time active user, how many of them are active users. Okay, so it's very interesting information for those who are working on it at the back end. All right, so here we can see locations, of course mostly are from Malaysia. All right, but in terms of in-depth demographic location, real time may not necessarily show you, but later we will be able to see the where are they coming from. Okay, location was, like earlier I said, Selangor, KL, where are they coming from. Okay, so traffic sources we can see. So organic. Okay, most of y'all, okay, what does it mean by organic is that y'all actually went to Google and typed out the web address, right? Or y'all copy paste and then you just copy and paste on your browser. So when you do that, it's considered organic. So you have actually gone to the website at your on your own. So what will happen is that later I'll show you what is I mean, if you were to go through another proxy website, for example, you have gone through a website A and then you have clicked something from website A which brings you to website B, then it's not considered organic already. Okay, but I'll explain to you later on that. And then in terms of content, so you can see those who have clicked on so basically most of y'all have been on the front page only one of y'all have sorry. Okay, all right, okay, so this is the live update. So there are some of y'all have actually clicked on the InvestSmart ISF 2020. Okay, that's a program that we'll be conducting. And then some of y'all have actually clicked on private retirement scheme. Some of y'all have clicked on who we are, basically this is live. So I'm sure all of you are actually browsing through the website and then seeing it for yourself. So this information, it's all captured live here. All right. Okay, so we'll quickly go into audience. Okay. Okay. So, okay, the moment you have gone through audience or overview, okay, I've clicked on overview here. This is not real time. Okay, this is something that you can, if you can look at the date here, okay, that this is basically the timeline that you want to view your users within a particular. Okay, for instance, you want to have you want to view your user information since January 1st of January up till 22nd of September, which was yesterday. Okay, what you can do is you just select the period, all right, and then you can click on apply. Okay, so if you can see now it's January 1st up till September 22nd. So this has been the report of the viewers of the particular during the particular period. So basically I'm talking about the website that you all visited earlier. Okay, investmartsc.com. Okay, that is the website. That is the website that actually you are looking at, the number of users within the period that I have selected. So this is the overview of users from January till September. So if you notice, there's a peak in March and April. Okay, this could potentially be, maybe there was an event conducted during March and April. There was of course, March and April was during our MCO period, but again, there was online basically conference that was conducted. Therefore, you can see a peak, or probably there was a campaign that was run during that period. Hence, why there's a peak. So users have actually dropped into the website quite frequently during this period of time. Okay, and also I think during March and April MCO period, everybody is at home. People are actually just browsing through and whatnot. So you have a peak during that period. So this information is also important. For example, those companies that have campaigns on particular duration, like for example, my campaign is only going to run for the month of May. Okay, so they start from the 1st of May up till the end of May, so they can see actually from the viewership of that particular month also. Okay, so but this one, since the period is from January to September, so you can see the whole view of in terms of viewership. So you can see February, not March. March was there's a spike there. April there was a spike, and then it reduced during May. June was a bit increased, and then July, August, September, nothing much. Okay, there was viewer, but there's no spike there. So these are the information that you can see from overview, audience overview. So you can see here users, sessions, new users, number of session per user. So earlier, remember I told you all about the terms that used in Google Analytics. So these, once you know what is the meaning of the term, here is where it will be applied. Okay, so you can see number of sessions, number of users. So we have about 144,000 users here. All right, and then over here on the right hand side, you can see new visitors or returning visitor. Remember I told you about the cookies, right? So every time a new user comes in, for example, all of y'all, I'm sure, never have been to the website before. So all of y'all who actually came to the website just minutes ago, y'all will be captured as new user. Okay, so the returning users are the ones who probably have actually visited before, and then they are coming in now. So provided they did not delete their cookies. All right, so but if you can see, new returning visitors are very few, and then the others are new visitors. But this, I'm talking about the duration from January till September. Okay, but of course, if I were to include today's date as well, September 23rd, y'all will fall under new visitors. All right, and then okay, we will look into audience. Okay, so here what we can see is that you can basically look at all users. All right, not the number of users, and the number of this will give you overview of who are how many users have come into your site, sessions they have, bounce. Okay, you see, if you notice, the bounce rate is 1.12%. Later I'll show you the industry average on how many percent bounce rate is considered okay. You cannot expect everybody to come to your website and then click something on the website. Some people will just come in to just get whatever information and then they leave. So those of you, for example, those of you who earlier clicked on something on the website, you guys will not contribute to the bounce rate. Okay, but those of you who just went in and then left, cancelled or deleted or just left the page, that will be captured as bounce rate. Okay, and then a page session, average session duration. So they also capture the number of, how long you have been on the website. So the average is basically 1 minute 45 seconds only. So nothing more than that. People don't spend very long time on the website. So this is also very important to actually understand whether people are reading or not. For example, news, online news websites. So when you have, like, for example, the Star Online, News Strait Times, they have the online channels, right? Online websites. So there you can see, if somebody is on your page and then reading the news until the end, so your average session duration will be higher. So it will show you maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Most articles are as long as that. So you'll show you a bit longer session. Like sites like this, like InvestSmart SE, is basically some people just come in just to see information, whether there's an event or there's an very important announcements. That's about it. The moment they see there's an announcement, the moment they see there's an event, that's it, they leave. Or maybe they don't like anything which is on the website, they also leave. All right. And so depending on how long you spend on the website, it will show you the average session over there. All right. And then they also have, okay, revenue and e-commerce conversion. Okay, here we don't have information. It shows you 0 because there is nowhere in the website you are actually paying. Okay, this will be different if you are visiting an e-commerce website. So in an e-commerce website, obviously you're buying something, right? So when you're buying something, actually it will be captured over here. Some want the information to be here because you have another app altogether for them to capture, like e-commerce. Like, for example, if you're selling something on Shopee has its own, because Shopee, you're only using their platform, you're not actually having your own website, right? So as a platform, they provide sellers to actually view the number of buyers and whatnot. Unless you are having a website where you're selling products on your website, then yes, you can activate the feature to capture the number of buyers or people who have bought your products, and from there it will start capturing the revenue. So it will be easier for you that you can actually see all those information in one screen itself, and for that particular period how much you have made, or rather in that particular month how much you have made. So those information you will be able to see. All right. Okay, next you look into demographic. This is where earlier I mentioned to you, we will be able to see which age group of users you attract the most. So InvestSmart, that particular website that I showed you earlier, it attracts people of age group from 25 to 44 years old. So this is very, very, very informative. So for instance, like, like when we want to create content, we will actually make sure that we create content which are targeted to this particular group. Okay, so I cannot, for example, I cannot be selling something. Okay, like example, the content is about retirement scheme. Okay, most of you, I'm sure, have never thought about retirement, but actually retirement is good for you to start early. But again, my target audience for retirement will be those of age group of 45 and above, for example, or 50 and above. So if my page primarily is on retirement scheme, you will see this information changing. You will see that most of my viewers are coming from age group of 45 to 64, for example. All right. Or if I'm looking at gaming website, for example, some gaming website that you see, most of the gamers are all youngsters, right? Like so you will see mostly coming from the age group of 18 to 34, example. So I'll have a spike in these two categories. But this particular website is pretty much obviously that you can see is that 25 to 44 is the targeted age group. So our target, the contents that we create and all that should cater to this particular age group. All right. And then you'll see the gender. So from here you can see that majority of our viewers are female. All right. We have 63.3%, and the remaining are male, which is 36.7%. So this is also informative because we will know who's your target audience. So most of them who are actually viewing are females. All right. So this is also very important for those who are under e-commerce businesses. whereby if they're selling something, okay, for example, they're selling makeup, cosmetic products and all that. So from here you can see the gender, the targeted gender will be mostly female, you know, so maybe the percentage will have higher female users that comes to that particular product page. And then on the other hand, you see, okay, some you know, for example, some product which is targeting only male, like maybe sports products, you know, like football, you know, all those sports products that you have. Maybe you will see a lot of male coming into that particular page. Okay, so this information is also very, very crucial. Some actually really have benefited from this information. All right, and then you will see, okay, next thing you will see is interest. Okay, Google Analytics will also capture interests of the users. Okay, so if you notice, it's very interesting, whereby they will capture those who, like for example, your targeted, you have a targeted marketing that you are running on the site. Okay, you have actually a marketing campaign that you're running, whereby you are targeting only those belong to finance background. All right, so you can actually see most of your users, where are they coming from. All right, so if you notice this particular website, somehow or other, there's most of them are into food dining. I am not sure why, but again, Google captures food and dining. Most of the users actually they have food and dining as an interest. Shoppers, value shoppers, media, entertainment, media, and lifestyles, beauty, wellness, life. So basically, it's quite open. It's not so skewed towards one particular market segment, but it's quite wide, because of course, the depending on your content, the users may be from various sources. Okay, and then you will have okay, then we'll go to, okay, so this geographical information, you will also be able to see, you'll also be able to see where they are coming from. Okay, for instance, most of the viewers for this particular website, okay, they use the English as English language. Okay, and then they have some from like Singapore, Australia. Okay, so these are quite mixed up, but again, you can see actually where they're coming from. So there are foreigners who's actually visiting the website as well. All right, but if you want detailed, you'll have location. Okay, but language is, like I said earlier, depending if your website has multiple language options, there's also possibilities that the capturing of the data may be different, because if you have, like for example, other languages besides English, then it will also be captured as the language that you choose. Okay, but location is even more important, or rather if even more accurate, I would say, because you can see actually where they're coming from. Of course, now the website that you're looking at is dedicated for only Malaysians, so you see majority of them are coming from Malaysia, but there are few who's coming from United States, Singapore, then there's China, Japan, Hong Kong, India, all right, South Korea, United Kingdom, and all that. The one you see not set, basically this is something that Google Analytics did not capture. Okay, some sites may actually disabled information, like for example, disabled cookies to capture the country they belong to, then it will not be captured. But however, but whatever is it, mostly you can see the top three are Malaysian, United States, and Singapore. So these are the where the users are coming from. So you can actually go in depth also from here. Malaysia, you know, in terms of new user session, bounce rate, so you can go by filter through by this as well. So if you want more in detailed information, you can, but what I'm showing you right now is as by default. Once you're already on Google Analytics, this is something as by default you can see. If you want more detailed, you can actually play through this thing called a section dimension. but I will not go through that with you right now because it's very in depth. Okay, you can also change your, in terms of how you want you want your view to be. You want like a pie chart, you don't want table format, you want graphical format. All that you can actually see. For instance, here you see where I'm pointing at. Now you're seeing like a table, right? So if I were to change to pie chart, it will show you this. Okay, or if I want to change it to bar chart, it will show you in a bar chart format. It's loading. If you have any question, you can ask. Yeah. Is everyone following through? You can. Okay, so I believe this one can't seem to be. Let me see. Okay, so you see, so they show you in a different format. Bar chart maybe earlier couldn't, but you can try out. All right. So for me, I would prefer it to be a table format. Okay, and then you can see. Okay, you can see behavior. Like earlier, there's new user and returning user. This is all based on cookies, right? You can see information such as this, and then you can see information such as technology. Okay, this is also very interesting because you can see where your user, which browser your user using. So from here we can see most of the users are using Chrome. Some you are using Safari, Firefox, Edge, okay, Android Web Viewer, Internet Explorer. Wow, people are still using Internet Explorer, and then they have Opera. So you see, you can also actually look at your users coming from which browser as well. Okay, so this one usually will be very helpful for app developers. Okay, if they were to develop an app, they will be able to see where most users are using this app on. And then you can also see network, so you can see where they're coming. For example, they're using TM, all right, you're using Cellcom, Maxis, DG, all right, Microsoft Corporation, Maxis Broadband, U Mobile. So okay, these are all service providers, where these service providers are coming from. Okay, so this is also something very interesting that Google Analytics can capture. Okay, and then you can also see mobile, whereby you will be able to see where the device category is coming from. Okay, most of y'all maybe desktop, mobile, or tablet. So if you can see, most of the page viewers of this particular website is coming from desktop. Okay, followed by mobile and then tablet. All right, and then okay, so then next thing we can see is let me see. Okay, user flow. Okay, so user flow, if you notice, right? Okay, this is something that you can actually see the whole architecture of your user behavior. Okay, you can see, for example, majority of your user is coming from Malaysia. When they go to the website, what are they clicking on? Okay, so if you notice here, most of them are clicking on investment options. Okay, within the investment option, most of the people are clicking on unit trusts. Okay, so these are informations, actually more detailed or in-depth information that's coming from your user behavior. Okay, so you can see from the point of coming into the website to the point of them exiting, you can see how is the behavior of your user. Okay, so this example is because I'm using InvestSmart, the website that you accessed earlier. So therefore, they have information on investment options, investment products and whatnot. So basically, that's why you see informations like this. But if you're looking through a e-commerce website, maybe you will see majority of them are coming from Malaysia, and then they are actually viewing gadgets, example. So you will see starting page will be under gadgets, and then interaction page will be maybe under a particular product, like for example phone covers. Okay, example, if you're starting from phone accessories and whatnot, then you'll see phone covers. So it will actually give you an overview of where is the your user interaction, okay, from the start to the end. There's another interesting information for website owners. All right. Okay. Then we will look into acquisition. Okay. So you will see under acquisition overview, you see there's a referral, organic search, direct, social, paid search, and all that. Okay. Here, what it means by referral is that, for example, now if you're looking at InvestSmart as a website, right? Okay, InvestSmart probably would have engaged with ASNB, Amanah Saham. We could have engaged with Public Mutual Bank. We would have engaged with MB Bank, okay, to actually help us to promote our website. Okay, how are they going to do that? For example, I have an article on my website that I want CIMB or Public Bank to actually help me promote. So what will happen is that I will share the page, okay, and then I will share my page to them, the link of the page to them, and then also will have at the end of the article, maybe I have my own website's a link. Okay, for example, InvestSmart's. So when Public Mutual shares that article to their subscribers, okay, they will view the article, and then the moment they click on the website, okay, which is the InvestSmart website, it will be considered as referral. Okay, it will be captured as referral. So you can see InvestSmart has a very high number of referrals because most of them are actually clicking through another website first, only then coming to our website. Okay, so this information also you can see through acquisition. All right, and then organic search, like earlier I said, organic search will be like the ones who go to Google, type in www.investmartsc.com.by. So they will be the one will be captured as organic search. So you're not going through a medium for you to come to the website. You are searching through yourself. All right. So that will be organic search. Direct search is okay. Organic search is the one that you Google. All right. And then okay, let me show you. Sorry. Okay. So here direct search is the one that actually keyed in the website address. Okay, so if you go through organic search is when you key in on your Google Chrome. Okay, when you click on Google, then you search for this particular website. Direct search is when you put in www on the search space. Okay, you key in the address, and then you actually go directly to the website. So that is captured as that. So there are very few. Majority of this website users are coming through referral. Okay, social is basically all your social media platforms. So for example, InvestSmart has Facebook, InvestSmart has Twitter and LinkedIn, and also Instagram. Okay, so whatever content that we post there, we also have a website address in the post. So those who actually read our post and then click on the website will be captured under social. All right, so you will be you'll be able to see where is, where is your audience coming from. So social is purely that. Paid search, like I said earlier, paid search will be more of like those who are doing digital marketing. Okay, they have a campaign running on particular campaign running on a particular event program. Okay, they will actually start developing ads. Okay, they will develop ads and all that. They will post it on social media, they'll post it on other websites, they will actually even email marketing to you and all that. So those who actually click on those ads is considered, will be captured as paid search. Okay, so there are various, so like I said, these are the various different types of how a user is being directed to the website. Okay, so you'll have more in-depth information and all that, but I will not go through that. Okay, these are the basics one that actually you can actually just have an understanding of how Google Analytics provides you data or information. Okay, so we'll look at behavior, right? Behavior, like I said earlier, this is a different kind of information. All right, you will see page views, unique page views, bounce rates and exit and whatnot, and then you'll see the number of pages that people have actually gone to. What is the top 10 pages that people have gone to? So if you can see here, like I said, investment option was the first, unit trust was the second. Here they will just list out to you. The map that earlier I showed you is actually the flow of the users. Here they will just list, they will just list out to you the most paged viewed website. Okay, and okay, so I will, okay, this is pretty much it on the website, or rather digital analytics or Google Analytics per se, on how information or data is gathered on this platform. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Next thing is, okay, campaign URL builder. Okay. For example, this is basically, wait, let me. Okay. So, okay, Google Analytics provides a tool called as the URL builder. Okay, that helps you to easily add campaign parameters to URLs to track customer campaigns so that you don't have to write campaigns URL manually. So basically this one, like I earlier said, paid search. Okay, so those who are creating campaigns, digital marketing campaigns and whatnot, so they will actually create a dedicated URL to go to the website. Okay, this is the reason why, is because they want to know whether the campaign is working or not. So for example, now we have a website called as investmartse.my, right? So this campaign will have more slashes on the URL builder. For example, investmartse slash UTM source, like analytics, they have like then slash referral. So these are the information that actually you can start building your URL. Okay, so this app will provide you the facility to actually start building a unique URL to capture unique audiences. So this is in order for us to know whether that particular campaign is working or not. All right, so this is a feature that actually you can use to capture specific or targeted audiences. And then, okay, another thing that this is something that I can tell you, is that there is URL shortener as well. For example, if you notice that one particular website has a very long URL, like, because of you accessing the website, within the website you're accessing an article, within an article you're accessing a video, so your URL will be very long. So how are you going to shorten it? So you can use this app to shorten it. For example, I can just show you an example. We take we'll take this as an example because this URL is very long, right? So I'll copy this URL. Okay. Okay. So you can do it yourself also. You can actually try it out yourself. Just go to any website that has a long URL. You can go to Bitly. This is a free website, okay, free app, whereby you can just copy and paste your link. You click on shorten, and then it gives you a short link. You see, immediately it gives you a very short link. So this applies to any URL that you want to shorten it. For example, you have your own YouTube channel and whatnot. You have your URL is long and you want to shorten it, you can use this app. It's a free app. Anyone can access and use it. All right. Another thing you can do is that okay. So another thing you can do is that website speed and performance optimization. This is also a free app. You guys can actually go to just Google GTmetrix. Okay, what this site shows you is that the site shows you the performance, like website speed and performance optimization. Okay, for instance, you can just try, just try to Google McDonald's or KFC's website. Just click on the URL. You go to this GTmetrix, copy and paste, test the site. So here you would be able to see how well is your website performing in terms of how long does it take for the website to load, how long does it take for the video to load. Those informations are very important. So there's why people, or why website developers, or rather website owners, want to use this app is basically to see how fast is it, because today's day and age, I think everybody is very used to wanting information fast. So if you notice, those days when you access a website, it will lag, right? It will lag so much that you will have to wait until it loads fully. But nowadays, if you notice, when you access it, is very fast. It will load very fast, and you can actually read the information as fast as possible. So basically, every website owners are trying their best to make sure their website speed is fast. Okay, how to do that? There is of course method. This app will only show you how fast is your website, what are the information on your website that is actually that's lagging and whatnot. But how you're going to do that is, there's a various. For example, if you have a website, you're downloading images into your website, you make sure those images are within the specified size. Okay, you cannot simply just post any images, heavy images into your website, because that will actually you take up a lot of your speed. Okay, therefore that's why it will start lagging and loading a lot. So what you will do is you have to optimize your image. So there's also a free app that you can use to optimize your image. So make the image small, make the image size much smaller. So there's something that you can do as a website developer. But these are all those who are actually developing websites lah. Okay, for example, you guys are doing blogs, right? So make sure your blogs, images of your blogs are not big size images. Okay, so you can go to like image optimization. You can just you can just download your image there, and then you can start optimizing your image so that the size become much smaller. All right, so that's something that you can do, and then these are all free that you can actually access without paying any fee to that. All right, okay, earlier I asked all about bounce rate. I spoke about bounce rate. So this is the benchmark with in terms of, okay, for example, if you're an e-commerce company and all that, so we are looking at the bounce rate. The expected bounce rate is only 20 to 45% only. Okay, nothing less, nothing more. Okay, and so for example, if you are looking at landing pages are the ones that like conventional websites. So you cannot have anything 60 to 90%. Okay, so this is a benchmark that actually one can use to just gauge how well your website is doing. All right, okay, I think we will actually end it here. Okay, I hope the session was informative, and actually you can ask, if you have any questions, you can ask me any questions. I'll be able to answer you.
Right. Thank you, Darwin. So students, especially web analytics student, do you all have any questions to ask? Or even a digital economy, you can throw in questions as well. So from Sebastian, there's a question for you. How reliable is the demographic data when we spying on competitors' website using third-party tracking website like Alexa and SimilarWeb?
Okay, okay, basically third-party tracking website, of course, they may be very much more in detail, okay, because you're paying for it, right? Sometimes these third-party tracking websites, they're all paid versions only, and of course information there will be more specific as compared to what Google Analytics is giving you. Google Analytics is something that like I told earlier, in terms of personal information and all that, it's not there. Okay, it's very limited in that sense. But third-party tracking websites are more detailed. Okay, that's why you're paying a price for it. So therefore, depending if you want such kind of informations and all that, you can actually go to them, and then you can actually get their services for you. So you can actually capture more detailed information there. So in terms of reliability, yes, like earlier I said, Google Analytics, like I told you, it's not, I mean, I cannot say it's not reliable, but again, it can give you a gauge. You can gauge where your users are coming from. You can just, you can use it as a, to gauge only. All right. From there, I would say it's pretty much sufficient for you to take action on what you want to do with your website. Okay.
There's
And
another
then
question for you.
yeah, there's Facebook, and Instagram has a similar version. Okay, all right. Yes, Facebook and Insta. Okay, Facebook has its own tracking analytics. Okay, if you are usually the tracking is not for personal users. You have to be a company user, like a corporate user. So when you go to Facebook, of course, I believe all of you all have a Facebook, and then because all of you all have a personal account, therefore there is no tracking for your personal account. You can only start tracking when you create a company profile. Okay, there's an option for you to create a corporate or company profile whereby you can actually start tracking on your post. So those posts, basically what you can see is that you can see number of viewers, number of engagement, where the users are coming from. So similarly with Google Analytics, you can also start tracking on the your users or viewers of your social media channels, but it's not applicable for personal accounts. I hope I've answered that question. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I think there's another question. Companies remove unpopular posts. Post on social media or website? All right. Okay. So yes, of course. So you would be able to. That's why I said. So this Google Analytics will give you an idea of particular page whereby whether it is popular or not. So for example, like car review website. Okay, you have a car review website whereby you have particular car on this particular page, reviewing this particular model. All right, you notice that there's not many viewers. People are not coming and reading that article and whatnot. So what they can do is they can just remove. Okay, they can remove, but on your WordPress, the app that you are running on your website on, you can actually choose to you can have that option to enable or disable. Okay, and when you disable, meaning that post will still be there at the back end, but it will not be shown for the viewers, online viewers. Okay, or you can also delete the post entirely. That's an option, but it's only done at the back end. Okay, so for the front end, you can only see whether the post is there or not. So yes, it is possible for you to delete a post. No, it will not affect your post in any way, because it's only sorry, if you don't remove the post, will it, depending, I mean, if you don't remove the post, it will still be there, of course, but maybe you don't attract viewers to that particular post. So if you go to the viewer, I mean, if you look into the data of your viewers of that particular post, it may be very poor. So it's either, you know, sometimes of course you want to make sure that your post get more viewers, right? So maybe you want to enhance your content, maybe you want to put more images, you want to basically have a better look and feel of the particular post. So you can do that, or either you can just leave it like that, but maybe because you just want to just have it on your website. It's up to you. No problem, thanks.
Any more questions? Oh, there's one more.
Yeah, can I use Google Analytics with a free website like WordPress with? Okay, yes, you can use Google Analytics for your free website. Like I said, if you have a WordPress, you know, WordPress can also be done without any cost. All right, the moment you have a WordPress website, Google Analytics is also free. Like I said earlier, you can just use the tracking code to put it into your website, and it start tracking your website. And must be the website. Okay, so the domain bit of it, domain, yes, you need to buy a domain. Okay, so domain is sold by many providers. You can just Google whichever domain provider, Exabytes, Hostinger. You have a lot of companies that provide domains. So you need to buy domain. That is, yes, you need to buy a domain, because you need to secure a domain first. So the domain will always be a unique domain. Okay, that you need to buy. But for you to create a WordPress, it's free. For you to use Google Analytics, it's free. Domain you need to buy. All right, no problem.